Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pickaxe Prospectors Report, episode number 3. This week we have a lot of interesting updates. The first update I want to cover are these little dollar signs right here that kind of remind me of shopping around for a restaurant on DoorDash, and they're usually used as indicators to how expensive or what the cost of a restaurant is going to be. A similar method has been applied here by Pickaxe about 6 days ago. So after episode 2 of PPR dropped last week, and it's a very interesting update. It's definitely useful. It gives users and it gives you guys, the builders, a deeper insight into understanding your LLM usage a little bit more. Now, of course, this should come after you have a fundamental understanding of which tools or which LLMs you should use for your specific tool. So if you're doing something for copywriting, for example, then you're not going to be going with Claude Opus 4.1. That's definitely overkill. If you go to their pricing page, it's $75 per million tokens, for example. So that's definitely not something you want to go with. Perhaps you want to use Haiku or GPT-5, maybe 4.1 even, right? So, as long as you have that understanding of which LLM is best going to serve your tool and ultimately your users, then you should dive in to this menu, which you're going to see under or next to the model selector right here. So once you get into this section right here, you're going to see these dollar signs. And if you hover over, it's going to give you the general cost of per 100 usage. So 100 inputs and outputs, for example, combined, that's going to cost, for example, for Gemini 2.5 preview, that's going to cost you about $5.05. So that's, it's a ballpark because it really depends on the inputs and the outputs. And of course, it also depends on how you configured your token length. So for example, input, output length, and so on. And the memory buffer as well, right? Like how long the conversation should go and how much of the AI of it should remember of that conversation. So some people are claiming their costs went up after this was introduced. There is a lot more explanation on the community forum from the CEO and by the Pickaxe team as well that would definitely help you guys understand this a little bit more. So I'm going to drop those in the Pickaxe Prospectors Academy so you guys understand them better. You could also check out the Pickaxe community forum to understand these official updates. So there are a lot more tools that were launched, especially the analytics dashboard or the usage analytics dashboard. So it's going to help you understand like which tool is costing you the most, the cost per studio, and the cost over time per day or per week, right? So you do have a lot of options if you go and check this out, so you can kind of get more control over your usage, and you could always find alternatives. Now, if you at some stage realize that, okay, this is costing you a lot, you can always change the LLM, find an alternative. Either you find it natively on Pickaxe. If you can't, then you could always connect Open Router and then, of course, bring in your own key via Open Router and connect a cheaper model. So I'll just leave it at that, right? You can always go to Open Router and check out what models they have available and go choose from there. So that is the first feature that I want to discuss. The second one is now Pickaxe chatbots can now reply via email. So this is kind of similar to setting up an N8N automation where you have an agent reply to a specific email address, or make.com automation where that bot that you set up within the workflow is automatically replying to your emails, right? So you can set this up for like customer service, maybe when you're away or outside of business hours, or maybe you want to connect like a RAG chatbot that's also answering these questions so that you can always reply in a timely manner. So the use cases are there for sure. It's very useful. It's an alternative to setting up an automation on one of these automation software. So it definitely makes things a little bit more native, especially for beginner users who are not very like tech savvy. So it's a nice approach for sure. The way you could set this up, is by creating a deployment. So basically you go to Pickaxes, you go to manage, and then you can set up a deployment. And then actually Abhi, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, set this up, and he shows you a tutorial here on the community forum how to set it up. And there you can set up a custom message, or you could set up usage limitations as well. And then I guess there's only one email address that it comes out of, but read the details for sure. As you can see here, it automatically replies in your name if that's how you want to set it up. or the name of your business. So you can go here. I'm going to leave a link to this so you can check it out. This was also released just about 6 days ago, apparently. So exciting new feature, very useful. Let's move on. What is next? So we have the AI builder, which I did cover. I believe it was episode 1, maybe it was episode 2. So you choose a studio and then you go in, and instead of just templates, it seems like they've built like an AI agent slash builder that would help you figure out what you want to build. It has some icebreaker templates that you could use, and essentially, or you could tell it exactly what you want and it will give you a role. Now, I do want to emphasize that this is mainly for beginners or no coders, right? So the purpose of this mainly is 2 things from my understanding, right? Is first of all, to reduce the barrier to entry and to reduce the technical hurdles to make it easier for you to figure something out and get your bot up and running, right? That's number 1. Number 2 is so you can essentially not go into more advanced prompts, which the more advanced and extended the prompt, for example, like an extended XML or POML style system prompt, that will cost more token usage, right? So, or could cost more token usage. Of course, it depends on the length and the complexity and the context in the system prompt. So don't expect to build like really complex, agents with this builder, but it is a great entry level. And if you're new to AI or building chatbots or custom wrap GPTs, this is a great way to like start and play around with system prompts. Now, I believe they added something nice here since last time I discussed it, which is running sample queries. So I believe the idea stemmed from a Pickaxe user who was using ChatGPT's agent to run sample queries and test out their bot. So I guess what management did is kind of adopted that idea and embedded it, baked it into this new agent. It can help you refine the system prompt or add interactive features. So definitely do mess around with that. And if you guys get nice results, please share them with us, either on the Pickaxe community forum or the PPA community, where I manage and release courses on a weekly basis. And there you can find like the most serious builders in Pickaxe. You can find them on the Pickaxe Prospectors Academy on school.com/PPA. Come on down and check it out. So it's definitely an interesting new tool, and I'm not sure how it's going to work behind the scenes. Like, how will they be kind of monitoring how users are going to use this to kind of improve upon it? But, there's definitely room for improvement for any new tool, and this is a great addition to create new system prompts. So this is very, very nice for beginners for sure, and for testing. So I haven't used it yet, but if you guys have, I have my own method for creating system prompts to get exactly what I want out of the agents for mostly complex tools, which I do cover in the PPA Academy, by the way. So if you want to check out how to create more advanced system prompts that get you results every single time, come check out the PPA Academy, link in the description down below. The last feature I wanted to cover was the analytics. Now, you can find these under the list of studios and pickaxes, and I think this is great for the new additions that came out, the new features in terms of like the shift from the credit system over to a USD amount for credits in general for usage. This definitely will help builders get a grasp and control over what works for them and what doesn't work, and to understand the maintenance cost for their tool. All right, so this is actually the post that I was referring to at the beginning of this video. It's titled New Pickaxe Credit System is Live, and you can find it under the category Releases and Features. And right here, you can kind of get the full breakdown, right? So Pro Plan gets $50 worth of credits instead of the 10,000 credits. Gold Plan gets $15 worth of credits. The Free Plan gets $5. So there's a subsidy for the Free Plan. That's always great to get people through the door. And I'm not sure if this rolls over to the next month. Perhaps they mentioned this here. I'm sure they most likely did. But if you want more details on what is going on, this is a great resource, an official resource, if you will, to go and check what the Pickaxe team did here. You can also, on a micro level, get an idea of how each user is spending and what their usage is like. And this will help you refine. Essentially how many credits to give away, or what is the amount of credits you want to give away or uses you want to give for each subscription tier in your products by going into user details, essentially in your studio, and going in and checking out usage using this new modal that was released around 2 weeks ago. to check how each user is using your tool. So this is, again, more granular control over your usage and over your spend per studio. So this can help you mitigate the costs. You know, we've heard on some live calls recorded or from various users over time that if you don't plan well, if you don't know what the model you're using is really meant for and how much it costs, and if you can't get a detailed breakdown of usage per user, costs can get out of hand and your pickaxe might not be profitable. So these tools definitely help you get on the right track to becoming more profitable and taking control over your tools. So excellent work by the Pickaxe team. Really, like, this is a great addition to the arsenal that builders get. All right, moving on. Now, you guys recall the PPA Studio, and I got your messages, I got your texts, and we got on calls. Some of us got on calls together, and I appreciate the feedback, and I understand that you guys have faced some difficulties using the Studio. So with that being said, I am retiring the PPA Studio, and I am essentially going to give you the blueprints for these tools so you can build them yourself. That's right. So ActionSmith, Action Diagnostics, and the XML and POML Prompt Architect. All of these tools, you can now access them or build them yourself from scratch. I created the document today with all the configuration, the system prompts, the knowledge-based documents, everything that you need to create them on your own. They're now yours if you're a VIP member of the PPA Academy. So as soon as you sign up, you're going to get access to the new VIP vault that comes on the monthly plan, and you get to build these tools for yourself. So essentially, you could build your own actions, you can diagnose your own actions, and then you can create your own POML style system prompts from scratch. And that is the way to go if you want to create advanced agents that do the real hard work and who can connect with each other. So if you're building advanced workflows, this is not just for pickaxes. You can use the POML system architect to create agentic workflows, to create system prompts for agents within agentic workflows in N8N or in Make, for example. So it's a very, very versatile tool. So if you are still trying to use PPA and you can't log in, or you have some sort of issues accessing the premium tier that I added you to after you purchased the previous offer, the lifetime plan, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you the blueprints so you can build your own version of it that is pretty much exactly the same, but is the updated version. So with that being said, that is available on the VIP plan. So you will get that along with everything in premium and free, of course, early access to the application that I'm building. And you're going to love this new application that I'm building because it doesn't only help you build on Pickaxe, it helps you build on Replit, it helps you build on Cursor, and it's going to help you build on a lot more different tools that will give any of your builds superpowers. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I want you guys to be really as excited as I am for this, because this is going to be huge. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so stay tuned for that. But if you want access to that, if you want early access so that you can get enough usage included in your trial plan, you'll have to sign up to the VIP plan before the prices rise. So essentially, when you get the VIP plan and you request access via DM on the PPA community, I will send you a special link that has your email and name in there already. And then you get access to Opus, you get access to Sonnet in there, all the latest tools that help you build real robust applications. And then your usage is covered for that month. So essentially you're getting the courses for free. You're getting all the other templates and blueprints for free along with that. So that's really what you get with VIP. It is the most value in the PPA community. Now, let's talk about premium and VIP, but what premium is also going to get this week. That's right, this week. So as I mentioned before, I paused the courses until I understand by discussing with Pickaxe management and the team what they are building and what the vision for the near future is going to look like. And as I mentioned in mostly episode 2, they're going to introduce an element of vibe coding. So now, since I discussed all these features, and that's pretty much the sum of all the features in the last 2 to 3 weeks that have been launched, I have a very good idea of what Pickaxe is going to look like, even up until like the end of next year. And with that being said, that means I can resume producing the courses. So here's what's coming. The next course to drop is going to be the Zero to Hero, which is essentially a combination of the agency in a box, the intermediate, and the advanced course all packaged into one, which you can get access to on the premium subscription tier. And this week, I'm going to publish a course introducing how Pickaxe can be given superpowers by connecting it to either N8N or Make.com. And there's a video that I released on the community showing you how you can self-host N8N and that. So I'll introduce you to webhooks, MCPs, how to connect MCPs, how to use MCPs for multiple APIs. And then secondly, I'm going to release a series or a package of courses for essentially using Pickaxe for what it was really created for, which is for coaches or consultants to package their experience and create AI versions of either their brains or essentially AI chatbots that carry their skills and expertise, and how to monetize them. So how can you monetize your expertise and package it into a Pickaxe? And then how can you sell that? So we're going to cover intermediate to advanced and advanced features. And then most importantly, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, we're going to discuss marketing. How do you actually market a tool, whether it's a Pickaxe or an application? We're going to discuss that this week. So all those courses are going to be launched this week on the Pickaxe Prospectors Academy. So if you guys haven't already caught what I've released before in the foundational, beginner, and the initial courses in the intermediate track, this is the week to sign up because you're going to get a lot of surprises. So it's kind of like Christmas came early. Guys, this is it for this week's episode of the Pickaxe Prospectors Report. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are excited about the future as much as I am. It's very nice.